There was a subplot in the game last night with the Rockets and the Lakers, and it had to do with James Harden. And James Harden not happy with the official Scott Foster, who is a 25-year veteran. The LA Times did a poll a couple of years ago asking players, obviously anonymously, the worst official in the NBA, and it was Scott Foster. But James Harden fouled out last night. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if he won in a landslide, but he did win as the worst official in the NBA. James Harden and the Rockets have had issues with Scott Foster before, but last night, James Harden had 4 offensive fouls, and he spoke about Scott Foster by name after the game.
I never really talk about officiating or anything like that, but just rude and arrogant. I mean, you aren't able to talk to him throughout the course of a game, and it's like, how do you build that relationship with officials? So, and it's not even that call. Like, it's just, who he is on that floor. It's pretty frustrating. And I mean, and I'm probably going to get hit, but honestly, I don't really say anything. I'm probably a pretty quiet guy to myself, but it's one of those things where you can't voice your opinion. You can't have a conversation with someone that's officiating the game, and then, you're getting attacked. It's pretty sad.
You feel like it's a personal issue?
Yeah, for sure. For sure it's personal. For sure. Like, I don't think he should be able to even, officiate our games anymore, honestly.
It's a great follow-up question. I'm not sure the reporter who asked, but is he making it personal? And James Harden saying yes. Chris Paul actually met with the NBA a year ago, I believe, to talk about Scott Foster. And said, there's nothing else I can do. Feels like it's personal. I thought that one of the big calls last night, first of all, you're the Rockets, don't blow a 19-point lead. But second of all, there was the third foul called on Harden in the first quarter, and that was surprising. Now, there's part of me that says, do I think James Harden gets more calls than anybody in the NBA? And the answer is yes. You'll have players who say, well, I've earned that right, which I'm always amazed at. The better players get more calls than the bad players. The bad players need a couple of calls more than the good players do. Harden initiates contact. I think he's hard to officiate. I really think it's hard to officiate James Harden because he can initiate contact, but you're the one that's going to be called for the foul. We have these step back or step to the side, and nobody calls that. Is Scott Foster just calling what should be called on James Harden? Some players, you'll have some officials who don't buy into that star system, and then they'll call a foul on a star, and he'll go, wait, I get that call. Maybe not all officials are giving you those calls. Is it personal? Now, this is a situation where I'd love for Scott Foster to be able to say something. I would love for the league to make him available just so he can say something back just to the media. He was called out by name. Now, this is a guy who does not have a good reputation, and he's been there for 25 years. He should be able to, or should want to say something about this, I'm guessing, but the NBA doesn't allow their officials to say something. Yes, Paul.
We have a theory over on this side of the glass. Scott Foster is a referee who calls the game old school and does not alter his game for players who are new and travel and push off and draw fouls all the time. Maybe he's an old school ref who hasn't altered the way he calls a game for the new school player, and that's why Harden's frustrated with him.
Yeah, but Harden's been around. Like, this isn't something new. He's not guy who just stepped in for the first or second year of his career.
Yeah, but his style of play is radical compared to other players with traveling, pushing off, and drawing fouls. He's the poster boy of working the refs to your advantage and pushing the maximum of what the refs will allow.
But Harden doesn't say much. No, I don't think he's an outright complainer. Every player, I've never met a player who didn't think he was fouled on a play. It's like a wide receiver's always open. These guys, they're always feeling like, man, why not call that? Or how could you call that? How could you call that at this time of the game? But James Harden, and he knows that he's going to get dinged a little bit here. He's going to get fined. But he probably thought it's worth it just to get it out there with his frustrations.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.